Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. A little bit of Wild Air. Beerworks up in this piece in the form of their Duppy Conqueror. I have no idea what that means. I believe all their stuff is it music based or is it book based? I think it might be poets. Anyway, we'll figure it out. This is a Caribbean style lager. I don't know what that means. I assume maybe it's like a tropical lager. I don't know. But it's from Wild Air Beerworks slash Last Wave. Last Wave. I think it's the parent of this brewery. And I really dig the stuff they do. They do a lot of lagers, a lot of low ABV stuff. Anytime I get up to this specific kind of bottle shop, they tend to have quite a large swath of their stuff. So I picked this up. There's no date in the can, so I just kind of go on Instagram and do a little sleuthing. So I think this is not overtly old. 5% alcohol by volume. On the back here, it says, in every crowd, there is one with horns casually moving through the bodies as if this is the living room of a creature with horns, a long cloak, and song of tongues on lips and bodies. So there you go. So it's about either poetry or writing, I think, is what a lot of their beer names and vibes come from. Anyway, 5% tropical lager. You take that Caribbean lager. So I take that as tropical leaning, but Caribbean lager, it could straight up be just like a Red Stripe clone for all I know. So we'll have to see what the sucker shows and proves. As far as label art goes, I really do dig their can designs. Not that it's like my favorite art direction, but very distinct. I can see their stuff from a mile away, which is always quite nice. And as far as the beer goes, yeah, it looks the part of like a soft little unfiltered little lager. You know, nothing too crazy as far as coloration goes. If it was clear as clear could be, it would definitely come off as just like almost macro level clear, but it has that soft little haze to it that you tend to get on macro or non-macro kind of haze, non-macro lagers. And yeah, looks nice. Kind of has a white soapy head to it, soft little yellow body to it. Done and done. Let's see if we can get a nose on the sucker. Spilling it everywhere. Placebo effect, I don't think that's the case. I do think we're getting a little bit of citrus in here. We're getting a little bit of kind of pineapple tropical flavors. I think it's probably hopped as something that's a little Americanized. But nothing over the top. Soft light, a subtle sweetness, something elevated beyond just a base kind of Pilsner malt. Almost like if you had like a honey Pilsner malt. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting from it. So it smells quite nice. Tropical. I keep putting those words in your mouth. Caribbean, whatever that may be. You think Caribbean stuff, again, you think of like, you know, lager you'd get on the islands, like Red Stripe and stuff like that. You think of like beach drinks, Mai Tais, Mai Tai. Sorry, I almost said a Muay Thai. Quite a bit different thing. You know, stuff like that. You know, margaritas, things like that. And not really getting like that kind of vibe off of it. But I'm getting a little tropical fruit kind of flavors with this nice kind of soft, sweet maltiness. Clunker review. We'll get through it. Let's dive in. Cheers, y'all. Yeah, they're definitely going for like a tropical flavor here. Really, really bright citrus slash like pineapple vibes. It's very much like a candied pineapple that this thing is really riding on. I'm tracking an ant. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it running around? Probably not. It's just out of camera. Anyway. Yeah, it has this really nice crispiness to it that's really just like super drinkable, crispy boy status. Let's drink like 45 of these kind of thing going on with it, which is quite nice. You get this really nice kind of sweetness to it that's elevated somewhere beyond what you typically get from like a base kind of lager, which inherently I'd be like, well, if it's got this kind of sweetness to it, probably not for me. When you get those copious amounts of those tropical fruits, like I said, heavily leaning into a pineapple here. We have the citrus. See that little sucker running around there? I told you I wasn't lying. He's trying. I think I spilt beer and he came out of the woodwork. You want some beer, buddy? Anyway, listen. I live in the middle of nowhere and I'm in the shed in the middle of nowhere. We get insects here. This review's off the rocker. This guy's hyped about something. Come on, man. I'm going to flick you into oblivion if you don't stop bugging me. This is going to be a really great review. I'm not going to cut any of this out. Okay. See you later, buddy. Anyway, was that cool? Anyway, but it has that tropical fruitiness, so it kind of makes sense to have that little additional part of sweetness. There's a soft little generic kind of bittering to it, kind of helps balance this out, but it very much comes off as like a Caribbean, if we're going to read that as a tropical kind of lager, but it doesn't get like what was the brewery, Ballast Point, when they used to use like the Flintstone vitamin-y stuff and all their beers, and they had that kind of chalky, powdery kind of, think of New Belgium and their Fruit Force, that kind of thing. It doesn't have that synthetic kind of tropicalness to it. It definitely comes off as a bright, vibrant kind of hoppiness. It marries well with the way that kind of malt kind of comes off with that touch of additional sweetness. And then, again, that utilitarian bittering, while quite small, just adds a little bit of balance to it. I think it's really, really tasty. Fun beer. Glad I got a 4-pack of it. Definitely summer vibes. Summer vibes all around. Listen, you can pick up a beer. It's called a Caribbean Lager during the summer. You're expecting those kind of summery vibes, and this is definitely it to a T. So, in the grand scheme of things, is it like Mount Rushmore, one of the best lagers I've had as of late? It's in the conversation. It's not on there, but for its uniqueness, one of the more interesting, one of the more fun, dare I say fun again, with the beer lagers I've had, is like, yes, it's just super fun in the way it expresses itself. It's just not generic, just throw all the hops at it. There's a cool kind of fun play on it that definitely comes off as kind of like a Caribbean slash tropical kind of lager. Value to availability, I want to say their stuff typically hits right around the $14 to $15 price point. That's kind of what you pay for craft lager nowadays, and leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you like lagers, you like them really well made, but you also want a little bit of kind of just a little extra something to it, you'll definitely dig on this. Done and done. Wild Ale Beerworks. Have you been to the brewery? Have you had their beers? Have you had this beer? All that fun stuff. Let's talk about it down there. Hopefully you all enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of a tropical goodness right now. Hope we'll see you next time. Cheers, y'all.